Coming to you live from the Chamber of Hunter Studios, this is Hunting You. I'm John Schelt.
I'm Keoni Hutton.
And I'm Leslie Reed.
Welcome, everyone. Dear listeners, you missed it. We went through the introduction 9 times today before John finally was able. I know, but this one seemed to be significantly worse than normal, all because I was consistently interrupting John, and it was glorious. But I was interrupting him singing the Baby Shark song to various things. If you've seen Ted Lasso, you probably know why.
Such a great show. Go watch.
It's a super great show. Highly recommended. And the ending was, it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful.
Oh, stop. Spoilers. Jeez.
Dude, Witcher Season 3 this Friday. Freaking awesome. Anyway, welcome everyone to the Hunting
You podcast. They replaced him.
This is his last season.
Season 3. It's
season 3 is his last season. They have not replaced him yet.
Okay, that's good because I really thought he
I know, I did too, and I was very depressed. Thank God that he is finishing out the season. Welcome everyone to the Hunting You podcast. As you can tell, this is going to be just an absolute cluster. Because I just worked,
and we haven't even started. I have no sympathy for your editing team.
Editing team.
So,
me.
Do you? Yeah, editing team.
At least I do it to myself.
Do you remember, earlier when we were doing pre-show, we were talking about that scene in Mrs. Maisel where Midge and Susie are talking together, and she said, "We're pretty, but at least we're not as as those over there."
Fact. You said it. Holy shit, that was perfect.
I purely did that just to give you more work.
I know you did.
I felt
reason.
it.
Too bad that recording got stopped and you're starting just recording.
I had to get that.
Listeners, there have been all kinds of shenanigans so far, just in so we've been recording for 53 minutes. And as you can tell, we are a minute into the actual podcast. So that is just kind of how the shenanigans have been going today, which is very appropriate because I think this is going to end up being a shenanigans episode.
Shenanigans! Shenanigans! Shenanigans!
Do we just want to talk about TV shows? I mean, that's sort of where it was going.
No, I don't think we want to just talk about TV shows. Partially because Leslie hasn't seen freaking any of them. And so...
But I've seen so many other shows that you guys haven't talked about that you need to go see.
We are... Okay, this is not that
podcast. You are more...
This is not that podcast.
It could be.
This is not that podcast. This is Hunting You, a podcast to help you make the home haunt of your dreams.
Which is why you have to watch Hannibal.
Okay, maybe. I'm willing to.
But Leslie,
you
haven't watched Mrs. Maisel or Ted Lasso yet. We're going to completely ignore
I've seen parts of Mrs. Maisel.
You need to watch all of it because that one also was just absolute. Oh my God, the last episode was so amazing.
She got cast as Lois Lane.
What?
Nice.
Whatever James Gunn is doing.
Oh, interesting. I don't know how I feel about that.
Leslie, do you remember whatever your slogan for Friends and Flicks was? We should take that out and let's just do it.
Oh, Friends and Flicks. We had a slogan.
You had a tagline or something. I can't remember. So there's popcorn involved. I can't remember.
Oh, I'm looking at it. No, I don't know if you changes. Go away.
I think that's our viewers' secret. They don't know about that.
Yeah,
okay,
so
you better
way back in the early days of the pandemic, we were really bored. And so we convinced Leslie to actually start watching all of the Marvel movies in order. And we were going to make a podcast of our discussion of each of the Marvel movies after Leslie has seen it. We got through 4 or 5 episodes and then it just kind of crashed.
Did we even edit those episodes? And
I edited a couple. I still have them.
I think we got further. Didn't we get
I
to
consider
the first
them the
Avengers
lost episodes.
Movie?
And if
lost episodes,
I think we got up to the first Avengers movie. I definitely did not edit all of them up to the first Avengers movie, but I have the raw recordings. And one day when we have a really bad streak where we can't get a podcast out, I'm going to release those lost episodes as Hunting You episodes instead, just for people's amusement.
Then if I'm understanding correctly, then tonight we're doing Winter Soldier. Is that what I'm understanding from what you're saying?
We are up to what? No, Winter Soldier's not right after.
So Leslie, are you ready to talk about Steve and Bucky? I feel like we could do that.
Oh, I can because I can always talk about Steve and Bucky.
It's a beautiful
I'm sorry,
bromance.
Kay. I'm sorry,
Yes,
Kay.
it
I
is.
have to.
It is a beautiful bromance. Almost as good as Iris, John. Almost.
Almost.
But this is not that podcast. This is the Hunting You podcast, and we are going to try to stay our best to stay on topic tonight. So let me.
Corey, you were saying?
I've got to be honest with you, listeners. The last month has been nuts. John almost got taken out by a tornado.
That's pretty
Like
cool.
literally, he almost got taken out by a tornado. And my ship is broken, very, very broken, more broken than we thought it was. For the record, spray paint should not be inside engines. Words to live by, people. Yeah.
Okay, we'll have to get to that story at some point later.
I don't know
Words to
things
live
about
by.
engines, but I know that.
Yeah, exactly. So it has been very stressful. We have not been able to prep for this episode the way we normally would. And it's already June 28th, and we have to get an episode out in July, or I will die a little inside. So we are trucking on ahead, and we are going to make the most out of this episode by turning it into more of a shenanigans episode. But before we get into the shenanigans, I want to talk a little bit about kind of where we are and what's happening. And that is absolutely huge because it is July, and there are some big things happening in July. The first one we have to talk about is, of course, the Texas Hunters Convention. The Texas Hunters Convention is happening in Mesquite, Texas, July 15th and 16th. So it is just 2 weeks away. If you are in the area, that is the official convention of the Chamber of Hunters. So definitely go check it out. Go swing by the Chamber of Hunters booth, meet Robert, and learn everything that the Chamber of Hunters can do. They are going to be running classes for the Ghost Not certification. It is not a certification. Let's be very clear on that. But for the Ghost trainings, they're going to be running Ghost trainings at the Texas Hunters Convention, so you can knock out some of that there as well. And then the one that I have been freaking looking forward to all freaking summer, Midsummer Scream, Long Beach Convention Center in Long Beach, California, July 28th to the 30th. I will be there. I will not be hosting a booth because what we've discovered last year was this Halloween and horror convention really leans more toward the horror side. And we did not get any kind of a boost for the amount of money that we spent. So it didn't make sense for us to get a booth again this year. But I will be there covering it. I will be doing videos and interviewing people. And you can find all of that afterwards. Not just afterwards, but as the convention is happening on our YouTube page. So go check out youtube.com/@huntingyou, just the letter U, and you can follow along with all of the excitement from Midsummer Scream at the end of the month. So 2 big conventions happening this month. If you are near either of them, go check them out because they're sure to be an absolute freaking blast. And if you're at Midsummer Scream, come find me. I may have a t-shirt for you in my backpack, but you have to find me to get it.
Only if you stop by the house and pick them up.
Dude, you still owe me a
have-
t-shirt.
I do still owe you a t-shirt. I sold your t-shirt and I'm not sorry.
Yes. Yes, you do.
So you do have t-shirts on hand.
Now that I mention that, they may all be at your house. So
I think
maybe
they're all at my house.
they might be all at your house. I'll have pamphlets in my backpack for you all. Stop by and pick up a pamphlet. Yeah. So anyway, conventions. That's the conventions that are happening. And then we are deep into build season right now, even more so because assuming my broke ass ship gets fixed, and since I'm the one who's responsible for fixing it, theoretically it will in fact get fixed. We are going to be underway for Halloween. Despite that, I have volunteered to build the Candlelighters Ghost House before the ship leaves on the patrol.
That it still may or may not be leaving on because your ship is very broken.
It's going to leave. It's going to leave. One way or another, it's leaving.
As a submarine?
It may have been described as the world's most seaworthy cheese grater.
So submarine with a screen door.
Submarine with a screen door.
Okay.
That's a little closer. Yeah, but we're leaving one way or another before Halloween. And so I have given myself a compressed timeline to do the builds for the Candlelighters Ghost House. But I am so freaking excited about what the Candlelighters are doing this year. It is a voodoo.
Mm-hmm. Okay, how many, as of today's date, how many hunts are you currently committed to?
One. One,
Only
just the
because
candlelighters. Only because I'm going to be at sea during
One
the
of 'em.
season. One.
So let's you tell me what you think. The engine is failing. Kay's in charge of fixing the engine. Kay loves to be at home for Halloween. If engine is broken, ship can't go. Kay home for Halloween. I feel like he doth protest too much over here.
I'm not saying there's a conflict of interest. I'm saying
there's
there's a
definitely
conflict of interest.
There's a very large conflict of interest.
But if my captain happens to be listening, of course I am going to have the ship fixed in time, sir. Fear not. So the candlelighters are doing a voodoo swamp type theme. The main room is going to have like picture the start of Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland or Disney World. It'll have like a swamp. They're going to do a laser swamp. So smoke on the ground with a horizontal laser setting the thing. They've got crocodiles are going to be leaping up out of it. There will be a dock going through the swamp so that that people will be walking on. There'll be a little shack off in the corner. Ding 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 ding. I think it's going to be absolutely freaking awesome. But then you move from the main room into the house itself, and the first place you're going to go is to like a New Orleans style cemetery and catacombs. I'm building catacombs and I'm really freaking excited about it. I'm having to make like hundreds of milk jug skulls because I'm going to be lining the walls of the corridor in skull paneled walls full of skulls, and it's going to be fucking awesome. Check out YouTube. I'm putting up videos as I go, so check out YouTube to follow along. But it's really exciting. And then
for everyone listening, that's 2 shots for
two shots. And then from the catacombs, they're going to go into like a where's next? Oh, like Bourbon Street. It's gonna be like a Bourbon Street section where they're gonna have voodoo vendors and I forget what else because I'm not responsible for that section. I'm very, very focused on the catacombs. But then from Bourbon Street, it's going to move into like Old City, New Orleans, where the big mansions are and where the vampires live. And you're going to have the vampire houses. And I think those are going to be very cool. But then it leads from that into what was the Midway last year, which is going to be like a Mardi Gras style party. As you come out of the house, there will be a funeral procession that takes you into the Mardi Gras style party. I think it's going to be freaking awesome. So, Candlelighters Ghost House. Go ahead, Les. I see you. I see thoughts. What's spinning around in the head?
Make sure that your procession to Mardi Gras is treated as a post-funeral procession.
Post-funeral procession.
Going to funerals, it's always very, very somber.
Right.
But coming from funerals, that's when
the party starts. Exactly.
So just from a accuracy standpoint.
I appreciate it. No, I absolutely appreciate it. Yeah, so go check out the Candlelighters. You can find them on Facebook, facebook.com/Candlelighters Ghost House. And you can follow along with everything that they are doing. They just recently announced all the proceeds from this year's Ghost House are going to go to the HERS Breast Cancer Foundation, the Fremont Centerville Little League, the Ohlone Humane Society Wildlife Rehabilitation Center, New Haven Schools Foundation, the JFK Wrestling and Fremont Warriors Wrestling Club, the Gardens at Palmdale, and the Niles, I don't know how to say this, and the Niles SNA, the Niles SNA Silent Film Museum. Really cool silent film museum right here in Niles, California, right next door to where we live. It's very cool. So some really awesome nonprofits that are going to benefit from the Candlelighters this year. So please go check them out, support what they're doing, and then check out my catacombs that are going to be really cool. If I can find enough milk jugs. Do you know what I'm doing every Wednesday night right now?
Dumpster diving for milk jugs.
Dumpster diving for milk jugs, because that's trash night. And
Jesus, he's not kidding.
Can I talk about this for just a moment? Because I really like how it's working out. Like, I got a length of rope and I put a carabiner on one end, just tied a knot with a carabiner on it. And then I clip that carabiner to the first milk jug I find. And then as I'm going and I find more milk jugs, I just slide them down the rope, string them onto the rope with through the handles. And like last week I collected 40 milk jugs just walking around the neighborhood opening the recycling bins. And like, I'm not digging through these recycling bins. I open up real quick. If I see any, I grab it and close and go. Like it's a quick glance. I have a flashlight, so it's a little more than quick glance. But I'm not spending a ton of time digging around through people's trash. I'm just grabbing whatever's sitting on top and going. And seriously, I found 40 last week. I got so many on. So our neighborhood has a bunch of parallel streets and then 2 like circles. So I got so many from the first circle. I had to go home, drop them all off, and go get and then start over again because there were so many freaking milk jugs. It was awesome.
Nice.
If you live in Fremont, please put your milk jugs on top of your trash so that I can find them easily. I would greatly appreciate it.
The more you know.
The more you do. Yeah. So that's kind of where we are in the build season. Like I said, definitely go check out our social media, Instagram at Hunting University, Facebook.com/huntingu, just the letter U, and YouTube.com/huntingu, or excuse me, YouTube.com/@huntingu, just the letter U. And you can follow along with all of our builds. I announced in our last episode that we had a TikTok. We no longer have a TikTok. That's all I'm going to say about that. We no longer have a TikTok. So don't look for us on TikTok, but you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and of course, YouTube, the primary places we're posting all of the cool stuff that we were doing. So that's kind of where we are in the build season. And it's getting busy. I've got like 6 more weeks of solid build time, and then it all needs to go start getting put in the house. So fingers crossed, wish me luck. It's go time. But in the meantime, because we did not have time to prep for an episode, we are going to take advantage of our time today to get to know our hosts a little bit better. John has prepared a number of questions to help all of you, our listeners, get to know us just a little bit better. So today is our first ever, I don't know what to call this. Leslie, what do we call this?
Introductions podcast.
We did we had an introductions podcast. Episode 1 was our introductions podcast.
I wasn't on episode 1.
You were not on the first. That is true, and that led to us getting that led to you getting slighted by Podcast Magazine.
Yep.
I remember. First off, thank you to Podcast Magazine for correcting that.
And giving us a 3-page spread. That was greatly appreciated.
I just remember reading that and be like, this is good. This is good. Huh.
Where's
like in
where's
paragraph
Leslie?
4, they haven't mentioned Leslie yet. That's weird. Oh no. Oh, uh-oh. And then paragraph 8, they still haven't. Oh hell. They forgot Leslie.
They forgot Leslie. But it's okay. They made up for it the next year.
They did make it right. So credit to them. That was just
Exactly. Yeah. And if you want to read the article they wrote, that Podcast Magazine wrote about the Hunting podcast, check out the show notes. I'll put a link to it there. It was I enjoyed it. It was pretty good.
It was so classic because if you had had it, it would be like one of those videos where you see someone with a giant smile on their face that very, very slowly starts to turn into a frown.
Exactly.
Just the longer you go.
Yes, exactly. So, John,
like
what?
a teacher grading papers.
Like a teacher? Yes, seriously, like a teacher grading papers.
I can do this. I need booze.
And there's the wine.
Leslie, you were a TA in college. Like, how long? How many could you get through before you had to resort to booze?
I usually started with booze.
0 is the answer.
So it was more along the lines of the booze was there to take a drink of every time something was like, yay, this is awesome. Or, oh, Jesus, motherfucking Christ, you've got to be fucking kidding me. That's what you got out of this? So it was either A or B. And then by the time I got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm feeling it.
I'm drunk. I better stop grading for a while.
And that was usually 2 to 3 beers in.
Solid.
I saw a picture on Instagram of a person who got their test handed back to them with no grade, but just a note in the top corner that said, "Why are you the way that you are?"
Was it yours, John?
It was not. I haven't had a paper graded in some time. I'm pretty sure Instagram is not
Teacher's
around
last
by
nerve.
that time.
Oh, look.
Yep.
It's on fire.
I was expecting that jar to be empty, but no, it's on fire.
It's not too bad either. Let me take it to the office. Yeah,
Huh.
one of my mom's students gave this to her, and apparently it was one of the students that was the last nerve.
Was bugging the last nerve. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Solid. Well, John, why don't you kick us off? What questions have you rounded up for us today to help our listeners get to know us a little bit better?
This last semester, Heather had a student, as a joke, put a pencil through the tablet they were using. So that's pretty cool.
As a joke?
That's what he said.
I'm fairly impressed how he managed that.
There should be more holidays to celebrate, especially elementary and middle school teachers. You know what? No, just
especially really,
just
yeah,
everyone.
especially middle school teachers, but all teachers.
Just that. Heather had told me there's a lot of times where you get to play guess what's in my hand. That I'm not interested in that game.
As a parent of 2 young boys, I play that
Yes.
game frequently. I have
There's
never
no
won
winners.
it.
There's
There-
I
no
don't think
winners.
it's possible.
There are no winners.
Yeah. My
Oh,
son can't
seriously.
speak that well yet. He can do some sentences, but he can still play that game. And most of the time, the answer is mud, or
The other brown sticky stuff.
yeah.
A stick. That was my son's favorite joke when he was 4.
What was brown and sticky?
What's brown and sticky? A
A
stick.
stick.
You're right, kid. You are right.
Technically, you're not wrong. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. There's something you can't fight him on that one.
No, you
Try
can't.
as you might.
It's too dumb. You can't.
All right. Some of these are fairly standard, interesting questions just to get to know us, and some are pretty random. So I'm just going to throw that out there.
You are the king of
Uh,
random questions.
Where's your foot? That's the first one. No, I'm just kidding.
What?
Yes, foot.
Oh, yeah. All right, we can confirm to our listeners. Leslie has at least 1 foot. We know that well.
We haven't seen the
All
other
right.
one, but there is
Yeah,
at least one.
That's the point.
Oh, there's the other
I
one.
see the
We have
one.
now seen them
Okay,
both.
All right, we're good.
Leslie has 2 feet. Fear not, listeners. Leslie has 2 feet.
The only thing I'm missing so far is a gallbladder.
Yeah, okay.
Indeed. Unplanned organ removal.
That's actually a good place to start. What organs do you not have that others do? I'm missing tonsils.
You're missing your tonsils. I
Yes,
have
I had
not
my
had my
tonsils out
tonsils
when I
out.
was a little kid.
I had my
Um,
wisdom teeth ripped out.
Yes,
I-
I have had those out. Yep. That was a good
I
time.
very vividly remember when getting the wisdom teeth out and like coming out of the anesthesia mid-surgery, just waking up a little bit and hearing like
Uh-huh.
the saw, like zzz, and then a crack. And I very
Yep.
distinctly remember
Yep.
thinking,
The crack.
I don't want to be awake for this, and going right back under. And not waking up
Yeah.
again until it was over.
I think I did nitrous for that, so I was awake, but I thought it was hilarious. But I remember the crack you're talking about.
I was
And I
not okay with
kind
it.
of remember thinking, like, I should probably be worried about that. Oh, well.
Yeah, I was completely out because while they were technically they removed my wisdom teeth while they were breaking my jaw. So I was very much out for that entire
You were very out.
procedure.
Yeah.
Yes,
I was
you
very
should be
out.
out for that.
So I have no recollection of it all at all.
Well, that's positive. Are you missing any other organs, Les?
Just my gallbladder.
Just the gallbladder.
Yep.
Solid. Okay. Original part. That's good.
Yeah.
I have.
Can I ask a
I
follow-up
have
question
to Leslie.
to all of you?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
What bones have you broken?
Wrist,
Big toe.
jaw, probably tibia. That never actually got confirmed with an X-ray, but I'm
Sure.
pretty sure I cracked it.
We'll call
Yeah.
it a win. Okay.
What about you, John?
I've been lucky there. Only big toe.
Solid.
The only other thing I think of is I had the corneas cut open for some stuff.
Yeah,
But
different
technically
issue
we're not
there.
replaced. Technically, we're not replaced.
Oh, so also unplanned organ removal.
I'm
That
buying
might be
organ
down the road.
replacement.
Replacement. He said they were not replaced.
No, I didn't get it replaced. Just cut open and had some stuff put in there. It's pretty cool. And I have been told down the road that is an option, and they described the operation to me, and it sounds terrifying.
Is it? Have you seen Minority Report?
Yes.
Yes. It's been a while, but yes.
Do you remember when he gets his eyes replaced?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I'm picturing.
I've been told that, they remove them and everything is just black, and you just kind of hope it goes back.
That's
sounds terrifying.
absolutely terrifying.
I don't. No, thank you. Anyway, what about you?
Yeah. My
Let's
wrist.
go to list through your injuries.
Yeah, I broke my wrist when I was 8-ish. It was third grade. I remember that much. And it was one of those, we had these big ass tractor tires on the playground at elementary school. And I was trying to jump from the tractor tire, grab onto this bar that rings were hanging off of, right? So I slipped off of that bar and fell. And when I landed on the back of my hand.
You did this?
I did that. Yeah. I landed on the back of my hand and it snapped the wrist. And that was another one. I very vividly remember lifting my arm up and my hand was dangling below the level of my arm. It was a shocking moment for 8-year-old me.
Yeah, I did mine at 4.
Yes.
4, solid.
Either 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I never remember which one. One year I got bit by a dog, and the other year I broke my wrist.
Yeah. Dang. That's
So
a rough time for it.
I was trying to get up on a daybed. I was taking and struggling with it because I was, small.
Yeah.
And I finally did it. And then brilliant me said, okay, I have to prove to myself that I can do it. So I got off and then went to go do it again and fell off and did the vent landing.
Yep.
It's a good time. Yeah.
It's a great time.
That's classic.
Did not enjoy it. All right,
That's
John.
a solid opener. Injuries and organ removal. I like it. It's a good icebreaker.
We're getting deep in this one.
What organs do you or do you not have?
Right.
That you started out with. All right. If you could pick one fast food chain and get free meals from them for the rest of your life, whom would you pick?
Define fast food. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Fair
Tokyo
enough.
Joe's.
Okay. I think. Okay. Tell you what. I'm defining fast food as anything that you can receive through a drive.
Wait.
I know that to make it harder.
Does that count for the drive-through liquor stores that exist in the South?
Your answer of gin is denied. That's not a fast food chain.
Hey, well, based on your definition of fast food chain, I'm picking Starbucks.
I think that seems legit, honestly.
Oh, that's solid.
I would not pick that, but I think it meets the definition.
It does meet
It's
the
sad.
definition.
It's sad because I did not even consider Starbucks, and now that Leslie has said that, I'm like, actually,
maybe I want Starbucks.
Sounding better and better by the moment. Solid. Okay.
I think so. My first thought was Chick-fil-A, but I always get the exact same thing at Chick-fil-A every time.
Okay.
And I think I'd want something that offers a little more variety.
Okay. I have a feeling I know where you're going. But...
John, what about you? Let me think on this one. I think I want more variety than Chick-fil-A offers.
I was okay, and now I'm battling for everything versus Starbucks.
You can't say Starbucks. You cannot say Starbucks.
Who else has really good coffee?
Duncan.
At this point in my life, that's so well. Dutch Brothers is good.
It takes candy bar to a cup to.
I think I would have to go with Wendy's.
Okay.
Frosty and fries.
Oh. They just came out with a ghost pepper chicken sandwich that was solid, solid. And then there's you got burgers, you got chicken sandwiches. They have salads that are pretty good. Their lemonades love their lemonades.
They're very accommodating for special requests, like 100 chicken nuggets. That helps.
We need to go into that a little bit. John and I have a
We're
long
going,
and sordid
before you
history.
do that, are you prepared to out yourself and me with it?
John and I have a long and sordid history with Wendy's.
I guess so.
And
yes, you own Wendy's.
while I'm not going to go into everything that we did when we were in high school, I remember one instance where they used to sell a jalapeno cheeseburger. And I really liked their jalapeno cheeseburger. It was very basic. Like it was their regular cheeseburger. They put jalapenos on it. There was nothing special about this jalapeno cheeseburger, but they had it on the menu for a limited time and then it went away. But they still offered jalapenos as a side on the menu. And so John and I went to Wendy's this night. We're in high school and I asked them for the jalapeno cheeseburger. They're like, I'm sorry, we don't carry that.
I was going to say, get that detail right.
Right. And they told us, I'm sorry, we don't carry the jalapeno cheeseburger. It's been discontinued. And I tell them, look, you have cheeseburgers on your menu. I see jalapenos right there on the menu. I just want you to take the jalapenos and pour them on the burger. Can you do that? And they're like, no.
It's very simple.
We can give it to you separately, but we can't do that. So like, fine, just give me the burger, give me the jalapenos. I will put them on myself. I can manage this.
Didn't they charge you like 37 cents for the jalapenos?
Yes, yeah, it was like, well, it was like 30 cents for the the little takeaway cup of jalapenos. Yeah. It was like 30 cents for that. So we come around to the pickup window, give them the money, and this woman, oh my God, this woman, she had to have been like early 20s, right? Probably like a college student working at Wendy's. And probably. She hands me the bag and I go to take it and she like holds on to it as I try to pull away. And she looks me in the eyes and she's like, I put the jalapenos on the burger for you. That's customer service.
That is. We drove away like you now own the specific Wendy's franchise.
I have owned this Wendy's. I went back there years later after moving away and I was back in Colorado for a visit. I went back to that Wendy's. They no longer have jalapenos. It was very disappointing.
They probably took them off right after that.
Right after I left, exactly.
That poor girl got fired. Hopefully she's alive.
I hope wherever you are, jalapeno girl, I hope you're doing well.
Rest in peace.
I think Wendy's is probably my answer. Roundabout way to get there.
We called ahead to order 100 chicken nuggets because between the two of us in our early 20s, we were like, we can eat 100 of these. I remember getting to like 65.
We ate like 65 or 67. Like we got close.
But I think when we were each in like the 30s, we were like,
oh, we made a bad choice.
This isn't going to happen, is it? Like doing the math, like we each need another 20 something. Like, nope.
Yep. It was an epic night.
It was an epic night. It's not worth a chicken nugget induced death. It's not worth it.
We're young. We thought we were invincible. We learned our own mortality that night.
Pretty much.
We came face to face with our own mortality.
Chicken nugget death.
Nugget death.
Because that's not what you want on your tombstone. That's not what you want to say.
Drowned in chicken nuggets.
Oh, what actually? If you say drowned, that's a whole different matter.
Fair. I am putting that on one of the tombstones in our graveyard. Drowned in chicken nuggets.
Drowned in chicken nuggets actually sounds a lot better than killed by chicken nuggets.
Killed by chicken nugget. Well, killed by chicken nugget just sounds like he choked on it. Like
okay, that's a good point.
Fried with the chicken nuggets?
Ooh, fried with a chicken nugget.
That's a good point.
Fried like a chicken nugget. Okay, move on. I think we beat up the fast food enough.
Yeah, I think we did.
But John never decided.
I was really hoping both of you would not notice that.
Good job, Les. Do, 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 do,
I've been trying to
do,
think the
do.
whole time, and I can't decide because there aren't a lot that I can think of that I wouldn't get tired of after
There's
a little while.
like, if you had asked me this question, say 15 years ago, totally, it would have been a very different.
I think you would have said Taco Bell 15 years ago. 'Cause
100%.
that's sort of where I thought you were
100%
going
would
to
have
go.
said. I completely would have said Taco Bell 15 years ago.
But now you want to live. And you have children.
And the only thing my children will eat at Taco Bell is crunchy tacos.
Yeah.
I'm also kind of okay with that. Like, crunchy tacos are amazing.
They're amazing, yeah. I mean, okay, crunchy tacos that do not have the Band-Aids in them are out of the That's the
It only happened
concern.
once. That only happened once.
Once was too many times.
Hey, John, you still have to answer.
I know. I was sort of hoping you guys wouldn't notice that.
No, I'm gonna hold your feet to the fire with this one.
You really want Starbucks, don't you?
I can't. I'll put it this way: I can't think of a fast food chain that I wouldn't get sick of over and over and over again. I've never gotten sick of coffee.
You're not forced to go there. It's just anytime you go there, it'll be free.
Yeah, that's my point.
But because it's free, I'm
But-
going to go there often.
There's the
I
thing,
think I picked Starbucks.
and that's the
Yeah.
thing. Starbucks.
If you want to
is
say
expensive.
Starbucks, I mean, this is getting to know the host, so I think it's reasonable for you both to say Starbucks. You
Can I say
coffee.
Dutch Brothers, but mean Starbucks, just to have a different answer.
I'm okay.
So
with
I'll
that.
say that, and then we'll start.
Addicts.
Yes.
Yep.
But just think, I could be addicted to such worse things.
That is true. That is
Well,
true.
I don't know, Leslie. Do you remember when Kay? I think you were gone for this, but we all went to the craft beer tasting festival at Metro. College
Yes.
I was
years ago.
not there. Yeah, I was not in town for
And
that.
I remember very much. I don't know, Leslie. I don't know if you saw me at this point, but I remember very much. I was walking around, like, okay, this is cool. Some good food, some good beer. This is fun. It was hot in
hot.
July. It was really hot. And then I saw people giving out iced coffee, and I was like, oh, okay, my people. These are my people.
Yep.
The coffee vendors.
That was a fun day. That was a
a good time. I remember, again, I see people having ice cold beer. Like, this is great. But the coffee people.
You're a bunch of addicts.
Those are my people.
All right.
Anyway,
John,
all right.
John finally answered. Let's go.
Any place that's coffee. Okay. I put in this question. This is a very targeted question, mostly because I realized this story hadn't been told on the podcast. Okay, we picked a center and then a defenseman.
Fantastic.
59 points in 59 games. Okay. All right.
NHL drafts is tonight for all you listeners who are not as addicted to hockey as we are.
Anyway, sorry. So this one is specifically targeted, but I'll take all answers. What's the stupidest thing you've ever done on a date? Okay.
Define date.
Define stupid.
I don't want to. 'Cause then
Does this have anything to do with cheese?
it very much does.
I would argue that was not a date. In fact, you were on a date. I was being your wingman. That was not a date for me.
Right. And that's my answer. I brought you. No, I'm just kidding.
The stupidest thing you did was bring me. To me,
Fine.
wait. No. I do think the stupidest thing you've done on a date was bring me. When we went to see, was it Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith?
Revenge of the Sith, I'm pretty sure.
I think it was Revenge of the Sith.
For that
We went to
one,
see-
yes, I think it was Revenge of the
We
Sith.
went to see Revenge of the Sith on opening night, like the midnight showing. John and I were dressed up,
Obviously.
and he brought his then girlfriend, now wife, with him, and made her dress up.
I did not
he
make her
brought
dress up.
me. Yo, you
You
totally
made her dress up.
No. You, sir, made her dress up.
I don't think so. I think the way it worked
This
was
is the
we
reason
showed
why
up.
bringing-
And you,
Kate on a date was terrible, and your wife is a very good sport from day one.
no. This is
Yeah.
true.
So I think the dumbest thing you've done on a date was bring me.
I think she showed up and then you handed her a robe. Because the way she remembers it is the first words you ever said to her were, "Put this on."
Well, at least it wasn't take this off.
And that's why it could have been dumber.
You know what?
It could have been dumber.
I may have made her dress up. That does sound familiar.
It does click, right?
It kind of clicks. All right, I made her dress up.
Damn it, Kate, tell the story.
I maintain it was not a date. And so to answer your question of the dumbest thing I've done on a date.
Fine.
No, I'll tell the story. So the way I met my wife was through John. And at the time, and so after high school, for a number of years, John worked at Sears. And
I remember that store.
His fiance worked at Sears, and his fiance's best friend worked at Sears. Her name is Ashley. On one night, John wanted to take Heather out, but she already had plans with Ashley or something. So John wanted to take his girlfriend out, but she already had plans with Ashley. And so he was like, well, bring her too. I'll bring a friend and we can I'll go see a movie together. And so we did. John and I got there first. I'm going to say John was never a very good driver. And so plus he drove.
Still alive, aren't you?
I am. He also drove a Chevy Suburban, which was freaking enormous. And so anytime we were going somewhere, I would usually drive. So I went and picked him up, and we were going to meet the girls at the theater because they were coming from work. So he and I get there, and our AMC theater at the time had these kiosks just sprinkled in the hallway with movie posters. They're like 3-sided, so there'd be movie posters all around this kiosk, right? So we're just standing there.
Things up first.
Okay, fair. We should, I do need to back up a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
John and I are masters of sneaking food into theaters, and I do not say that lightly. Some of the things that we have successfully snuck into theaters, we did a whole medium and a whole large pepperoni pizza.
That was a good time.
Same time, like same day. And we never used bags to do any of this. Like it was hidden on our person.
That's the coward's way.
That is the coward's way. Absolutely. So we did a whole
giant sized purse begs to differ.
No, that's coward's way.
That's
coward's way. Plus, they're onto that. They check the bags anymore. Like it doesn't work anymore. So anyway, we got 2 whole pizzas in. That may be why we bought 100 chicken nuggets. I'm not totally willing to confirm or deny that.
I feel dirty that we're telling this.
20 cheeseburgers in one event. We did
the burritos.
Burrito. Oh my god, I felt so sick after the burritos.
That was a bad. That one was.
And a bunch of glass Cokes.
Yeah,
I'll tell the glass Coke story separately. But then
I was there for that one.
Yeah. Aside from like just ridiculous quantities of food, we would bring in like just snacks that we really liked. And one of the things that we really liked were those individual Baybell cheeses. They're little wheels of cheese, a little bit about the size of the center of the palm of my hand, and coated in wax. And they're like the perfect snack size little cheese.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so we would always get this little 6-pack of cheeses and split it. So on this night where we're meeting the girls, where we've made it to the theater ahead of time, we've already picked up all of our snacks and we're waiting for the girls to arrive. And so we're just leaning up against one of these movie poster kiosks, chatting, waiting for the girls, and we see them go walking by. And because the way we were leaning against the kiosk, like they walked right past us, didn't even see us. And I saw this as an opportunity. I had never met Ashley before. I had met Heather a couple of times, but I had never met Ashley. And so
don't mind, you're kind of a weirdo.
I am kind of a weirdo. Halloween podcast host. I am kind of a weirdo. So I sneak up behind the girls and come up right behind Ashley and put my arm around her, holding one of the Bay Bell cheeses. And I stick it out in front of her with my arm around her neck, around her shoulder, clear my arm around her shoulder, and I'm like, "Hey, baby, you want some cheese?" And like, just
You are
the
so
look
lucky you were not
of
maced,
hatred
punched,
and
smacked.
disgust and just pure murderous intent that I received from this woman has haunted me to this day. Like, it has never.
You wish you could
found its
recreate that
equal.
look in the hunt.
That
If
look
looks
has
could
never
kill,
never
you would be
since
dead.
been like, no look with nearly the amount of animosity has ever been directed in my attention since that day.
Oh,
I know, right? For the record, 2 years later, she agreed to go out on a date with me. So I maintain that the cheese has 100% pickup, like the cheese pickup line has 100% success rate if you're willing to wait.
yes, batting
Yeah,
1,000.
you have to be willing to play the
1 of
long
1.
game.
You are so, looking back on that, you are so lucky she didn't punch you, kick you, stab you, mace you.
I am surprised that
Anything.
there was no bodily harm. Like the rest of the night, we sat, me, John, Heather, Ashley. So Ashley and I were as far apart as possible. She didn't say a word to me the rest of the night, didn't even look at me the entire night. We went our separate ways, and she never got any closer to me than the four of us apart right there. So, all you kids out there, if you're looking for a good pickup line,
No, don't recommend that. Don't recommend that. Don't do that.
it worked for me.
Also, if you do that, that's going to severely threaten your success rate.
That's perhaps it may be that you just have to be as suave as I am for it to be as effective as it was. I'll let you interpret that however you will.
You can insert a cricket noise there. I think that would be
You both found absolutely amazing women.
Yes, and I am
Yes, we did.
grateful and lucky, and she's probably gonna like murder me when she finds out I told the story on the podcast.
The fact that they put up with us is
a minor
impressive.
miracle. A minor
It's
miracle.
One of those things where you ask the question, like, why'd you ever marry me? And they like, do you really want to pull on that thread?
Yeah,
Nope.
exactly.
Question withdrawn.
Indeed. To go back to backtrack just a little bit, since you brought up the glass Coke bottles. So I found
Do it fast.
ways of modifying my clothing to maximize the ability of said clothing to sneak food into theaters.
Put a lot of
And
stuff in your pants.
I fit a lot of stuff in my pants. And like at one point I had a hole in the bottom of one of my pockets, and the hole was the perfect size that I could take a glass Coke bottle, slip it into the pocket upside down, and it like the hole was just small enough that it would sit, like it would hold the glass Coke bottle where it flares out for the bottom, and it would just hold it perfectly right there. And I did this 2 or 3 times to great success, got the glass Coke bottles in, no problem. And it was wonderful until the one time when that hole expanded. And Leslie was there with us that day. I don't remember what movie we were going to see, but we're walking in. Yeah, right.
No.
But we're walking in, and I feel the glass Coke bottle slip out of my pocket and down my leg, and then shatter on the ground next to me
As we're walking in.
And what do? I just kept walking.
Not a damn thing.
did not look down, did not look around, no reaction whatsoever. I just kept walking.
Like, you want to stop? Nope.
Because
Nothing to be gained by stopping. Keep
that's
going.
it. It's only suspicious if they see you looking. So let that be a lesson to you. As long as you are moving confidently, you can get away with a lot.
Have a
Act
clipboard.
like
that
you
helps,
belong.
too.
Act like you belong. Absolutely. So Les, what is the dumbest thing you ever did on a date? Go on a date with a person whose name starts with J.
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, prom.
So going to prom with somebody.
Yeah,
And why was it so stupid?
Excuse me.
it was rebound, and it was not the right person to rebound with, if there ever is one.
Wait. Were you rebounding or was he?
I was.
Ah, who are you rebounding? Who are you
Schaff.
rebounding off?
Schaff.
Oh, I forgot about Schaff.
Yeah, I was rebounding off a Schaff for that one. It
Was
worked
there
out
any
because
cheese in
you and
that?
Amanda were there, but yeah, that was very awkward.
Yeah.
That's a good time.
Care to elaborate?
Mhm.
No, not really.
How about you, John? What was the stupidest thing you ever did on a date?
Oh, it was 100% bringing you. That's, looking back on that, did it work out? Yes.
Is there
If
any rational reason it should have worked out? No.
If I were to Back to the Future it a few times, it's very possible it doesn't work out that many times. She's like, "This is his friend." Okay.
What am I getting myself into?
There was also, she also brings up the fact that I think one of the other first times she met you, we went to a restaurant and you put the garnish in your hair behind your ears and pretended to be Roman.
Yeah.
So
I remember that. In fact, my wife still talks about that.
There's that. So again, that was some risky business on my part. That was not a good idea. We're both stupid.
Yeah, we are. It's a wonder that any women decided that we were worth it.
Again, not something I want to, push. Just
right,
don't bring that up.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we should take a quick break, hear a word from our sponsors, and then I think we got time for maybe one or two more questions before we call this an evening. So let's do it.
Thank you for those lovely words from us about our wonderful, wonderful sponsors. Let's get back to more shenanigans.
I have this is a rapid fire one, so I don't know if you want to count it. Alligators or crocodiles?
Alligators.
Crocodiles.
Alligators. Leslie, why? I thought you were going alligators.
Saltwater crocodiles every damn time.
American alligator. Blunt nose. Eat the Floridians.
Wow, that went to more scientific and more horrifying places than I thought it was going to with just a rapid fire question. Huh. Interesting. All right. Didn't see that coming. All right.
Got a good help.
Okay. What animal would make the best president?
Is this a throwback?
I will put it this way. Okay, you may answer it in whatever way you wish. If your choice happens to be one we have discussed on occasion before, if you feel that is the answer to your question, you go right ahead.
Cow.
I'll start. So give you guys a sec.
You're going to say beaver.
I was going to say three-toed sloth.
No, three-toed sloth belongs in the legislature.
I thought the legislature was filled with three-toed sloths.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
think most of it.
Certainly not as cute.
Ooh. Okay, I take it back. That's a fair point. Toucan. Final answer, toucan. Mostly I just want to see like toucans in suits. I don't know why, but I'm into that.
You know what?
Anyway.
I'm gonna allow it. That's solid.
Beat that. Okay.
Cow.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I thought you were going to say cow.
You want to tell that story?
I don't know if that particular. So yes, but if I'm being completely honest, I don't know if that story would interest our audience that much. It's an interesting thing between two 12-year-olds.
It's an interesting look into the 12-year-old psyche, or the psyche of the 12-year-old male boy.
Who are just completely stupid.
We were completely stupid. In sixth grade, or I guess it was seventh grade, wasn't
it? You got me.
I'm pretty sure it was
middle school.
It was in middle school for the 2000 election. We got inspired by the 2000 election. or rather the campaign season leading up to the 2000
Sure.
election. And we decided to do our own election right there in the school, where we pitted a cow against a beaver. And John and I walked around asking every student we could find to vote in the election of the cow versus the beaver.
Yes, if we weren't outcast enough. But, yeah.
If I remember correctly,
yeah.
the beaver won.
Yes,
But-
Kay. Yes, it did.
But it went to it was not an easy win, which was
It was
very
not a clean
appropriate
win.
given how awkward the 2000 election ended up playing out.
That was a good time. So I think it's solid. Beaver. I think the beaver would make a better president himself. Between those two,
I think a beaver would make an excellent president of Canada.
I mean, aren't they? I just assumed. I guess I assumed. Leslie, what do you think?
Moose.
Why moose?
That could also be Canadian.
Last remaining land megafauna.
Okay.
Giant rack of horns.
I just today saw a video of a moose like chasing a grizzly bear, and the grizzly bear was booking it. Like,
Well, yeah.
I would rather run into a grizzly bear in the mountains than a moose.
I think it depends on what the moose is doing and where I'm located.
Additionally, moose are semi-aquatic.
Also true.
They can dive 20 plus feet, which is why one of their most successful predators is the killer whale.
Huh. I didn't know that.
That's not real. You made that up.
I very well might have, or somebody else did.
Fact check. Fact check.
Either way, I'm still going with the moose.
Has a killer whale
Whale.
ever killed a moose? Many people don't know this, but the orca, otherwise known as the killer whale, is one of the most prominent moose predators.
Damn it.
What the This is coming from a .org. It has to be real. Center for Surf Research.org.
All right.
Many people don't know this, but the orca, otherwise known as the killer whale, is one of the most prominent moose predators. Orcas eat moose on occasion, even though these animals live in totally different habitats. While we don't have any evidence of a regular predatory-prey relationship, killer whales have been known to dine on moose every now and then. So if you're looking to have the burning question of do moose eat orcas answered, come dive with us as we explain how it all works. Holy
You can put us under educational on the category for
that
That's crazy.
is absolutely crazy. Holy
I just sent you the comic that I found it off of.
that's
Thank God it's real.
we learned something today.
Okay.
Never question my animal knowledge.
That's what my son tells me too.
Wow. All right. Fair enough. Okay. The next one, just again on a good. I'm still trying to shake that one off. On the next basis for getting to know us, what is your Harry Potter house? I myself am a proud Hufflepuff.
I'm not surprised.
You wait. We're coming.
I'm a Gryffindor.
You all take us all for granted. Y'all just don't forget about us. Just look at the little Hufflepuffs over there. They're just going.
Which
There's
day of the week?
There's a reason the Hufflepuff house is next to the kitchens.
Just remember, that's exactly what we want you to do.
Hey, John,
So you just keep doing what you're doing.
you ever tickled a pear?
I can't say that I have.
If I had to guess, I would say Leslie's a Ravenclaw.
That would probably be mine as well.
She could, I mean, you collect degrees like other people collect, I don't know, stamps.
Yeah.
This is true.
All the tests
You're
I've taken,
easily
I
the
pretty
smartest
much,
of the three of
depending on
us.
the day of the week, I am either Ravenclaw, Slytherin, or Gryffindor.
Notice how Hufflepuff is not anywhere in there.
Don't worry about
Despite
it.
my
Kate.
love of kitchens, I have never actually tested to be a Hufflepuff.
Yeah, I think you're more Ravenclaw than anything.
Yeah.
You're easily the smartest of the three of us, so I'm
No
sort of
question.
in that same boat.
No question.
Yes.
And John,
Most
you're
eating by
definitely a
orcas.
Hufflepuff.
That's fine, buddy. You keep on keeping it.
Indeed.
Don't look over here. It's fine. We're not making an uprising or anything. Don't worry about it.
I believe you.
What's your wife?
My wife,
Uh-huh.
Hufflepuff.
I was going to do that.
She's a Hufflepuff.
Awesome. Yeah. Mine is also a Hufflepuff. Leslie, what's Alan?
Gryffindor.
I buy that.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Solid. See? We outnumber you. Don't worry about it. It's fine. If you were going to get a tattoo today, what tattoo would you get? There's a few on here. So I don't know how long we've been going, but maybe we should go faster on a couple of them.
So I have been shopping for a tattoo for a while.
Really?
Yes.
Are you going to get an anchor? Don't get an anchor.
I am not going to get an anchor. No,
Okay. All right.
if I've known for a long time that if I get a tattoo, it's going to have to be a Halloween tattoo. And
Solid.
I really want a jack-o'-lantern, except
Nice.
Okay.
when,
Jack-o'-lantern with an anchor.
but I'm trying to find an artist who does UV ink so that when it gets into UV, the jack-o'-lantern's glowing, like the face is glowing. I think that'd be hot.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We're gonna get down with that.
Well, you guys are looking. While you guys are going, I'm gonna pull up the picture I really liked.
I have an easy one. I told you this because on my desk, I have a little metal medallion of the
Nice.
Rebel Alliance Phoenix Squadron. Oh, that is cool.
Or so I've found pictures of like people setting jack-o'-lanterns on fire
And having UV around that.
that are
really funny.
and I think like doing a regular jack-o'-lantern in black and white so it looks normal in regular light, and then you put it in UV and you see the flames. I think that'd be hot.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, that's pretty good. I like that. It's very fitting for you.
Right? Like anyway.
No, yeah, I have this sort of on my desk actually. So if I could turn it into a tattoo, that'd be cool. I have a little metal medallion of the Rebel Alliance logo, but the Phoenix Squadron version.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
with the actual bird on it. And then I have some chance cubes from Solo hanging off of it. So if I could turn that into a tattoo, I probably would.
That I could totally see you doing something like that.
Yeah, I like it. I can go for it.
I think you should get a Sabak Idiot's Array on your calf.
Oh, I'm too much of a wuss. I wouldn't actually do it. I have.
You know,
Although I like that idea. That's a good one too.
my wife's got two small tattoos on her wrists, and she like is just terrified of needles. But she went and did that. She's like, that was not as bad as she was expecting. Like it went okay.
I like
So
her
you might be a
tats.
wuss. You might be a wuss, John, but I think you could pull it off.
Well, I'm not. You say that. My wife has. It's a family thing. My wife has a cow skull tattooed on her. Her whole family has a version of it tattooed somewhere on them, and hers is on the base top of her foot, which
Like one of the most painful places to
Painful
get
spots.
tattooed.
Yeah, that's it. Your wife is a vamp for that one.
I was not with her when she was getting it.
Yeah.
I did receive basically just a string of profanities for a good 30 or 40 minutes.
I believe every bit of that.
Yeah.
So good times.
What you, Les?
I have several that I want to get, and I've wanted to get for a very, very long time. So one is a raven
Ooh, cool.
on my shoulder.
Nice.
I want to get the Mudhorn signet
Oh,
Mandalorian.
nice.
I wanna
Okay,
get that
Solid.
solid.
behind my ear.
Solid.
I want to do a phoenix on my back.
Damn.
I want to do that one for God since middle school. I'd love to
Can I
have something.
interest you in a mythosaur?
Well,
I thought
that's-
of Mythosaur on my calf would look good.
Yeah.
yeah. So Mudhorn, something related to Alice in Wonderland
Mm.
Nice.
and Chinese characters.
And you would pick them out so you actually know what they mean, as
I
opposed
would
to
pick them out.
other people who
Right.
end up with bucket or
Right.
soup or
Yes, they would be selected, properly translated, and exactly the calligraphy style that I want. And I'd be going to somebody who either A, knows the language and knows that I speak the language.
Mhm.
And yeah, so no, it would actually be something.
Tina Fey tells a story about a tattoo artist who a guy came in and said, I want Chinese characters that say, I have strength of tiger. on it, and the tattoo artist said okay and gave it to him, and then was told, actually, I put it on there, I have chlamydia. So, there you go.
Yeah.
Solid. That's a good
Solid.
burn right there.
So
Yeah.
I have several that I want, and really it's a matter of finding the right inspiration pictures and then finding somebody who can do
Sure.
the art the way I
Yep.
want, because it's going to be multiple different styles,
Sure.
and that's the big thing, is the stylistic.
Sure.
I
I'll get
also
that.
want an octopus.
Where?
Sorry, that was out of nowhere.
On my calf and ankle. And
Oh,
foot.
Okay. Roger.
As long as it's not holding
No comment.
cups.
My mind went somewhere else. Don't worry about it. That's for we would have to reclassify the podcast if we discussed that anymore.
Damn, bro.
So I like tattoo anyone? Anyway.
All right. What? Damn it, Cam, trying to move on. What is your favorite simple pleasure? Again,
Jeez.
once again, okay, I'm going to give you a minute. What? In the interest of giving you a second, mine will probably surprise neither of you, particularly in the winter, but I'll do it in the summer too. Hot cocoa comic books. That's all you need.
Solid.
That's all a person needs.
Yeah. No, I'm sticking with cheese.
Just
Tea,
choose.
a good book, and a thunderstorm, and a fuzzy
Ooh.
blanket.
Ooh,
Nice.
The thunderstorm solid.
Pretty
Nice.
stereotypical, but those things together or in any combination is just
Right?
So
Right.
I got to tell us a quick story. At the end of our last patrol, we did a line crossing ceremony because we had crossed the equator. And when a ship crosses the equator, everyone who has not previously crossed the equator gets inducted into the Ancient Order of the Deep, and they become shellbacks. Okay. This is
Are
long.
those the guys from Pirates of the Caribbean?
No, this is like long nautical tradition. Okay.
Okay.
It was kind of cool. I found, like, we were going through my grandpa's stuff and I found my grandfather's shellback card, which is really kind of cool.
nice.
So-
Okay, nice.
But anyway, so we were doing the ceremony, and part of the ceremony, the first night, was we had all of the polywogs. That's what you are before you become a shellback. All the polywogs had to do skits, and they could come up with whatever skit they wanted. And 4 out of the 8 groups all did parodies of our patrol, and they did pretty
I thought
spot
Patrol
on.
was a parody.
It was
Awesome.
They did pretty spot on parodies of the operations officer, me, and a number of the other.
Oh my God, you were parodied?
I was parodied, and
I
Please,
need
God,
video
tell me
of
there's
that.
video.
the ensign.
I
who
need video.
did
I
it.
need pictures.
The ensign who
Can
did
you
it.
do a parody of them doing a parody of you?
That's exactly what I'm gonna do. So they were like sitting. They had a bunch of people sitting around the campfire talking. After the patrol, they had gotten back to the beach and they were reliving moments of the patrol, and then other people in their group would act out the moments. And they start talking about me, the engineer, and they're like, "Man, do you remember EO after the crankshaft sheared and how he was?" And then this ensign comes out holding a giant bag of cheese cubes, and I mean like the 4-pound bag of cheese cubes, and she's cradling it like a baby, and sticks that, like, just comes out one hand in the cheese cubes, cradling it like a baby, and she's like, "I'm mad because I'm missing the Halloween convention, and cheese is the only thing that brings me happiness." And just shoves it in her mouth. It was the most fought on parody of me that I have ever seen. That's all I'm saying.
Were you just sitting there like, damn it, I can't fault it. It's perfect.
And then afterward, as soon as she was done, she comes over and hands me the giant bag of cheese. It's like, "Here, sir, I know you need this."
Did you recommend her for promotion?
Yes,
She
I
needs a
Say,
promotion.
Yes, I did.
I don't know who she is, but she should be promoted immediately. That's amazing. The sad thing
It was epic. Holy shit.
I can think of more than one occasion where, I mean, we brought up the sneaking food into the movies. I can think of more than one occasion where I've talked you out of buying a wheel of cheese from the
I'm
grocery
telling
store.
you, like, cheese is my simple pleasure.
Where you weren't saying it as a joke, like, we'll buy this huge thing. You were literally sitting there doing the math, like, let's see. This cheese weighs X amount of pounds. We could do here. I'm like, no.
Stop it,
no.
Kay. Stop it.
It's like, get the rolled up newspaper. Stop it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we're bumping up against the 1 hour mark here. John, lightning round, go.
Okay. That
It's the worst lightning round ever.
was kind of it. Those are the questions I had, though.
Oh, really?
I was pleased because I got exactly. I can pull up. Oh shit! I can pull up random ones. The only other thing I was going to do lightning round style was. Do you remember our last Shenanigans episode? Leslie wasn't here for it. I was going to see if I could find the doc and ask Leslie those questions lightning round style.
Oh, that's okay.
I mean, if you can find them, I'll do it.
Okay. Put these in. So, I was hoping I had a episode number, but I don't. So, at some point, go back and listen if you want to see Kay and I's answers to these questions. We did a whole show where we had nothing to talk about, so we had some random stuff we chatted about. So, Leslie, put these in order of which you would prefer in terms of breakfast: pancakes, waffles, French toast.
French toast, waffles, pancakes.
You're
That's
wrong.
the correct answer. No, that's the correct answer. That's the right answer. We don't have time to argue about this. We argued
Lightning
about
round, keep
it.
going.
Go listen to us argue about it. You're wrong, though. Best TV show that you've seen that no one talks about.
Better Off Ted.
I don't remember.
Never even heard of that.
I feel like it was on Fox. Oh well.
It's hilarious.
Would you rather
Amazing.
punch a solid sheetrock wall at full force, or be punched in the stomach by one of your co-hosts?
Sheetrock.
Why?
Sheetrock's
Would you
easy
rather?
because sheetrock's easy.
That's what I said.
Like
That's why you don't build haunts out of sheetrock.
sheetrock's. I've kicked through sheetrock. I could easily punch through sheetrock.
I helped you patch a sheetrock roll. Like,
That's the one I kicked.
yeah.
That's the one I kicked.
Would you rather sleep with all of your clothes on or the lights on? So, like, including belts, shoes, coats, whatever.
Considering I've done both multiple times.
That does not sound comfy. I'm picking the lights.
I
Close.
literally used to fall asleep while doing my homework on my bed, fully dressed, with the light on, only to wake up 3 hours later, realize that I had fallen asleep on my homework on my bed, fully dressed with the light on, and through some semblance of coherency, rectify the situation enough that I could actually finish the night's sleep.
That's actually better than my college roommate who would stay up late doing his homework and then be too tired to crawl into his bed that was above the desk. And so he would just fall asleep on the floor. And then I would jump out of my bed, which was above the desk, and almost crush his head every morning.
That would do it. Would you rather go the rest of your life with no milk on cereal or no syrup on pancakes/waffles?
No syrup on pancakes or waffles because I can add so many other tasty things.
See, I think that's the correct answer. If you could only smell like one food for the rest of your life, what would you pick?
Only smell one food?
No,
only
you
smell like
you
one
smell
food.
like it, the food.
Oh,
I think I picked French bread. I think.
lemons.
Solid
Let's see
answer.
how it goes. Yeah, no problem. Solid. Would you rather have a rock in your shoe forever or crumbs in your bed forever?
Rock in my shoe.
I think
100%.
Yeah, that. We argued about this one so much. Which is better, Encanto or Moana?
I'm going to cut out all the time that it's silent, but I want the audience to know that she's taking an awful long time to decide.
I mean, there's a clear answer. But you and I argued.
I agree.
about it for like
I
20
agree.
minutes.
There's a clear answer, but John and I are on opposite sides.
Yeah, I know. You're for Encanto and John's for Moana, and I'm starting to I love both of them equally.
She knows which way we lean.
Damn.
Yeah, I like both of them equally for different reasons.
That's a cop out. Cop out.
Hey, I've done damn good.
We'll let it slide. All right,
Cop
last
out.
one I have. What is one thing that people do for enjoyment or work that there is not enough money in the world to get you to do? So, for example, I think mine was skydiving, if I remember right.
I believe you're right.
That just sounds like a good way to, a quick way to die. But
Well, only if you don't pull your chute.
I mean, can't you see me not pulling my chute?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I can.
Exactly. I'm not saying it wouldn't be because I'm not inept. I'm just saying I'd be dead by the end of it.
Something that you could not pay me enough money to do.
That other people seem to enjoy. While she's thinking, Kay, do you remember what yours was? I don't think
remember.
I do off the top of my head.
I don't
I remember
remember.
also talking about going into space, that there was also not enough money for that, where you were
Yeah,
completely
where
on
I
the other
wanted,
side.
I still want to do that. Yeah. I hope to have that opportunity one day.
Dude, have you seen Gravity?
Have you seen Apollo 13?
Yeah.
Have you seen The Martian?
Those are all on my side. Those are all good reasons not to. Dude, and whatever happens when you run into Matt Damon in space?
You do not take Matt Damon to space with you.
No, not ever.
Nor do
Well,
you
if you
take
do,
Tom
just-
Hanks.
You just plan on spending a lot of money to get him back.
Actually,
Or
maybe I
he
do
kills
take
you.
him because he comes back. Like,
Well, what about he didn't come back in Interstellar? He tried to kill them and it didn't work. Spoiler. Sorry.
yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
So, Les, what is the one thing that people spend that people enjoy, but you could not be paid enough to do?
I mean, the only thing I can really think of is golf, but you could definitely pay me enough money to golf.
So what I'm hearing is you have a price
I think I know.
for just about anything.
Okay, let me make a suggestion. A week, no, let's make it harder. A 10-day stay in Dead Women, Oklahoma.
Dude, I could have so much fun with that.
Damn it!
Again,
Do
I'm
not
getting
doubt
paid
her.
for this.
Right.
Like- There's a great many things that I am willing to do for money.
No comment. Before we go, though, of course, it is the first of the month, and so that means we have to have
The Chambers Corner.
This month's Chambers Corner is brought to you by Spectral Illusions. Bring more life to your haunt at spectralillusions.com. The Haunting You podcast is the official podcast of the Chamber of Haunters, and so every month we like to give them the opportunity to let us know what is happening in the world of the Chamber. Mr. Robert Knowlton, president of the Chamber of Haunters, what do you have for us for July? The Chamber of Haunters is excited for July. We will be attending the Texas Haunters Convention again this year and cannot wait for all the fun and excitement that is in store for everyone. We have a bigger booth, a special mini attraction for patrons to visit, and our annual auction with awesome goodies available for purchase. We cannot wait to see everyone again and meet some new people in the process. We hope you'll plan on attending and come pay us a visit as well. We look forward to seeing you in mid-July for the Texas Haunters Convention. Remember, members receive some amazing benefits, and you can too by joining the Chamber of Haunters now. Just go to our website at chamberofhaunters.com and click on the Join Today button to get started. We look forward to having you as our newest Chamber member. Thank you, Robert, and of course, go check them out at chamberofhaunters.com. See them at the Texas Haunters Convention, July 16th to 18th in Mesquite, Texas, and you can learn more. Fantastic.
Ooh. Play
Uh-oh,
fantasy
what?
football and pay attention. Like, actually try.
I mean, if I'm getting
Not you.
paid, I would even play fantasy
No,
football.
remember, it's what activity. Well, okay, never mind.
That's what I'm saying. If you paid me to play
What
fantasy
activity
football,
could you
I would do that.
Is okay.
It's like, if I'm getting paid, you didn't specify the amount that I was getting paid to do things.
And in fact, you did
$8.
specify the amount because your question was that you could not pay me enough money to do that.
All right.
There was no amount of money in the
Damn it.
world to get me to do that. I would 100% play fantasy football for $1 million. Like, no problem.
I got a 5
Yeah.
spot in my wallet.
Okay, but I'm going to need you to double it.
I'll think about it.
And then I'm going to need you to take that 10 and shove it up your ass.
So I was expecting that answer. I was just expecting you to put some more numbers in it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Damn. All right. Continue with your outro.
Again, you can pay me to do stuff. It's just going to cost you.
Leslie's a whore, but she's an expensive whore.
Damn straight.
Like, Leslie, stop setting him up.
I mean, we already came to terms of the fact that I was a whore for $60,000. And honestly, that price was not enough. It was not enough. So that's our show, everyone.
You need a Trixie drop right there. You really need a Trixie drop.
Hey, big boy.
And there you go.
I hope you enjoyed this opportunity to get to know your Haunting You host just a little bit better. We will be back in August talking about all the things that we are doing to get ready for the haunt season, hopefully helping you get ready for your haunt season as well. In the meantime, definitely go check out and subscribe to the Haunting You podcast on your favorite podcast app. Some of the most popular ones are, of course, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and we use Podbean. So all great places to find the Haunting You podcast. If none of those work for you, you can always find us online at hauntingyou.com with just the letter U, or on any of our social medias, facebook.com/hauntingyou, at Haunting University on Instagram, or youtube.com/@hauntingyou, just the letter U on YouTube. And you can keep up with all of the shenanigans happening on the Haunting You podcast. In the meantime, I hope that your build season is going honestly better than mine, because I'm freaking out. And I hope you are not yet freaking out, but it is crunch time. We are just a few, so it's July, August, September. Yeah, we're basically 3 months away from October. Haunts are going to be opening probably in September. So get your builds done, because, we're running out of time. In the meantime, thank you all for listening. We'll see you again in August. From all of us here at Haunting You, happy haunting.
Bye, everyone.
We are incredibly thankful to all the sponsors who make this show possible, particularly our premium sponsors, the Chamber of Haunters and Fear Expo. You can learn more at chamberofhaunters.com and fearexpolive.com. Check out the Haunting You podcast at hauntingyou.com for more information on everything that we do. Haunting You is a production of the Rocky Mountain Home Haunters, LLC. All audio clips and sound effects are used under a Creative Commons Attribution or Public Domain license from Purple Planet Music at purple-planet.com or the Sound Bible at soundbible.com. Please see the show notes for more information on all the clips used in this episode.